not packed, but full of atmosphere, colour and noise. And we're ready to go in the Nationwide League Division 2 playoff final. A place in Division 1 to the winners. Graham Laws checks with his assistants, checks with the fourth official, and gets the game underway. It's Brentford in their changed strip of navy, Stoke City in their traditional red and white stripes. Huge day out, huge prize on offer. Stoke's Clive Clark playing in the left-back role that he's filled for much of the season, having taken over from our own Tony DeRigo. And Steve Hunt is on the left flank for Brentford, on his hair especially for the day. Off Ulumu for the Brentford throw. Ulumu scored the second in Stoke's 3-2 win against Brentford back in November. He is their top scorer this season with 12 goals. His breakthrough season in many ways, the big Scottish striker. Forward for Dion Burton to have a run here. He very nearly got in on Darren Powell and still might. Dobson came back to cover just at the nick of time.
That's fantastic defending by Dobson. It really is great following it because Powell was in trouble. It looked as if Burton was just about to get the shot in.
Out of his area to clear comes Neil Cutler.
And look at this ball. I think it's a good ball. The early part of a game like this, very congested in midfield, a lot of closing down. And you saw the way Powell got caught. Ball watching.
Anderson in towards Burgess. This is Evans, who'll be back during the week. He's in the Welsh squad to face Germany. Anderson, cleared away by Sergei Shatanyuk, the Belarus international at the heart of the Stoke back line. Nice turn from Hunt, and he's got to the byline, pulling it back for Burgess, just rocking back on his heels as the ball came towards him.
You called it. That's what undid Burgess, because it's beautiful work, and it's a couple of times now Brentford have got in on that side, and this time it's pulled out really well, and he's just leaned back, bounced in front of him, got underneath, and you know what the result is going to be. But that was very, very clever play by Steve Hunt.
And it's towards Ulumu, who is the outlook for Stoke City in attack. 6'3" tall striker.
That's sloppy by Ingemarson. He doesn't need to make the challenge. He's got his back to goal. It'll make it difficult for him to control it, but you don't have to climb all over him as he did. This is dangerous now for them.
Combination of Johnson and Gunlaugson. Over the free kick. We know all about Gunlaugson's left foot. Johnson leads it to Gunlaugson, who whips a decent ball in, but it was just too close to Paul Smith. He'll be grateful for that early touch of the ball. Sides header.
The space at times on the pitch though. In one little clearance, it all opens up.
Forward to Ulumu. He's dragging Darren Powell out wide with him. And Powell stuck to his task and he's got a foot to the ball. Big, strong central defender Darren Powell, and he scored a very handy equaliser for Brentford in their playoff semi-final game against Huddersfield. Ulumu was just thinking about the offside flag that never came there.
I think he was surprised by the little flick on from Burton. It was a lovely little ball in from James O'Connor, and Burton decides to go first time.
O'Connor. It's it back from Burton. And this is Clark. First bit of measured control play we've seen from either side, and Stoke finally dallied too long.
I think O'Connor is passing the ball better than anybody on the pitch at the moment, but Clark again had a chance to play it up the line, and to be fair to him, nobody showed. There was no option for him. Burton's got to work harder to provide something.
This is Tony Dinning. Now Thomas, a bit of space to move into, and he's eagerly galloping into that room. To Johnson, off Anderson. Stoke City's corner. Noise level rises inside the Millennium Stadium. There's Stoke's significant contingent of the crowd. No real height advantage to either team at corners. They're both big sides.
No, but on set pieces, the match could easily be won or lost today.
Powell has picked up Stanyuk there. Dinning has scored a few with his head, coming forward from midfield too in his time as Stockport and Wolves. Gunlaugson to deliver. It's up towards Staniuk Iwelumo, got a touch. Dion Burton finds his way through, and Stoke City take the lead. It's the on-loan striker who gives Stoke the advantage.
Well, we're talking about how good Brentford are in set pieces, but this is absolutely classic. The flick on from Iwelumo, and they just completely forgot about Burton. He's just peeled off the far post. Nobody's picking him up whatsoever. He has time to get it under control, prod it towards goal, gets a little bit of look for it to squeeze through, but it was absolutely beautifully worked by Stoke.
Gudjon Torderson arms aloft. Advantage goes to the team in red and white. Looked to have been blocked on the line at first. Sidwell, even on the post, had a little touch to try and block it, but just enough sting on Dion Burton's shot to take it through. His fourth Stoke City goal. And he's the player who scored when 2-0 down in their semi-final first leg against Cardiff. A goal which looked like consolation but proved so important in the end. How important is that one?
Straight out of the coaching manual, that. Classic near post flicker.
Brentford came from behind against Huddersfield. And that's come off a Brentford head. It's going to be a goal kick.
I think he merits credit for the way he got it under control. You know, he's had to peel off. It's not the easiest to control. It might have had another little bubble off his left foot before it sat for him. But he did the important thing and he got something in on goal. And what a nice little touch that was.
All singing, all dancing, all Stoke at the moment. Burgess waits. Ingemarson puts it in his direction. Staniuk climbed high, speculative one from Sidwell, and it wasn't far away.
Well, it's hard, you know, under that kind of pressure to get a good header away, and Sidwell took up a wonderful position. You know, always fancied it might drop his way. Great improvisation to keep it that low to begin with. That's so unlucky because Cutler's not getting anywhere near it.
Evans. This is Dobson. Sidwell wasn't expecting that pass and did well to adjust and go in for the tackle. Forward towards Owusu, but that pass was deflected too. Powell. Oh, Iwelumo's lost him, and there was a little nudge, it would seem.
Oh, I think that's harsh. I mean, unless we see something on a replay that I haven't noticed first off. He seems to have taken a knock, Iwelumo, in the bargain, but Powell's concentrating too much on playing him and not actually watching the ball because he got sucked underneath that again. There he is. Okay, there's a little barge in the back, but he might be a little harsh from the referee.
Aaron Laws was a little distance away from the incident, but saw enough contact in his own mind. Manager with plenty to say, Mr. Torderson. Finished in 6th, 5th and 5th so far. Here's Dobson. Evans finding Rowlands. Just a bit too much of Dobson. Well spotted by Clark. Powell. And Rowlands. Good skills. Through O'Connor off the set. Owusu. Oh, support behind from Evans. He didn't get the touch on it he wanted, Lloyd Owusu. That was an opening. Anderson. Sliding into the challenge was Johnson. Bursting down the right is Dion Burton. The red and white stripes get forward in the centre. It's deep to Iwelumo. Dobson got ahead to it. O'Connor couldn't bring it down. It's all ended rather messily.
Well, the two big men let themselves down. Owusu on the flick before that could have got Evans in. It was a poor touch. And that time, on the other end, Iwelumo should have done better.
That's a very good touch from Handyside, just to hook it away from.
He's been excellent too. Very good start he's made by Handyside.
Iwelumo's onside here. Well, that's a good touch too. And Dobson was able to just take it away from his toes, and there was a foul as well.
Well, it's difficult for a big man. I mean, it's a good ball over the top again. I think he's just onside. He was in line. It's hard to control, isn't it? And get your footwork quickly enough to get on the second one. But I think that could be from the earlier incident. And he's suffering again.
Just signs of a little hobble. Up goes Uolumo. He's okay to continue for now at least. Gunlaugson has company. Paul Evans with him. Gunlaugson keeps going and now has a go. Well, he's a player that has never been short of confidence.
Shouldn't have been able to cut inside and have so much room. Once he decided to come back on his favourite left side, I mean, you know it's coming from him. Evans has chased all the way. He's done well to shield it. Now he gets too much room for my liking here, and it's a good effort. But that's what he's capable of. And that is him having his good head on. I mean, they need a lot more of that. I think at the moment Stoke are defending really, really well. The two centre-backs, Handyside and Stanyuk, excellent.
That's Uolumo tangling with Ingamasa. Dobson. Owusu trying to get ahead of his marker, Stanyuk, who got a good touch to it. Forward by O'Connor. Burton head down. He has caused Darren Powell a few problems, and again the single defender had to put it out.
Well, at least it was a better starting position. Okay, the ball was never really going to find Burton from O'Connor. It was just hit into an area, but at least Powell gave himself room to anticipate it.
Gunlaugson to ground. Stoke free kick. There's a bit of a flare-up between Paul Evans and Lloyd Owusu there too. The Brentford skipper making a point very forcefully to his striker.
It was a stupid free kick to give away. It's indiscipline that. You just stand your ground on that player with back to goal. You don't have to commit yourself. And again, there's a big threat from Stoke.
Johnson and Gunlaugson trying to engineer something. Not really the right angle for the shot, but they do have strength up in the area for Johnson to find. Only needs a touch and got one. Stoke City lead by 2-0. Delivered by Johnson, and the deflection took it past a helpless Paul Smith. It's the red and white stripes are in command, and they belong to Stoke City.
It was a good ball in because there's a lot of pace on it from Johnson, and it's difficult to deal with even though it's low. I think Uolumo got the first touch on it, and I think that might have just distracted Burgess a little bit, who didn't know anything about it and could only help it into his own net. But the quality of the delivery helped make it. It caused all sorts of confusion, and I mean, now it's a massive task for Brentford.
It's a Ben Burgess own goal that has doubled Stoke's lead. There's Rowlands. On the stroke of half-time too.
Typical as well, guy. We're talking about how dangerous Brentford are as a bunch on set pieces. And Stoke have sucker punched them twice.
To added time we go. There'll be at least 4 minutes for Brentford to try and just pull back the arrears. No doubt which manager's got the hardest half-time team talk to deliver. Steve Coppell has to consider his words very carefully. From Gudjon Tornesson's point of view, it's a case of keep on going. O'Connor. This is Dinning with some room. Oh, and Smith has made a meal of the save.
I think this moves. I think it moves because I think the keeper looks set. He's in a good position. He's pretty central to cope with Dilling's shot. I think that swerves.
There's the manager of Cardiff City, beaten at the death by Stoke. Burton. I think a touch to Thomas, who now tries to get away from Hunt. Good Johnson. Half-time at the Millennium Stadium. Ben Burgess with an unlucky touch to take the ball past his own keeper. Dion Burton had earlier put Stoke City in front, and it is Stoke City who are in command and are halfway to a place in Division 1. At the interval, it's Brentford 0, Stoke 2. No changes made to either side during the interval then. It's Stoke City who are going to get the second half underway after a first half which they were in complete control of. They lead 2-0. As we've already said, they have 1 foot in Division 1 for next season. Stoke City, who've been absent from that division for 4 seasons now, since their relegation back in 1998. It's not so long ago they were in the playoffs to try and get a Premiership place. down towards Ben Burgess. He'll be desperate to get a goal for Brentford in that end that they now attack. Didn't know too much about the touch it took off him to put Stoke into a 2-0 lead. Burton got up. This is Uolumo, and there's no flag this time, and it was just nicked away from him by Anderson. That's Thomas getting in. Nice turn from Gunnarsson. Thomas is still holding that right-hand touchline. And it comes from Gunnarsson, taken away from Burton by Dobson, and the whistle's gone. It's a free kick at Brentford.
What a chance, and I think Chris Uolumo should have done better. I really do. I think he should have kept it away from Anderson, because Anderson just gets caught. Look, he dallies, and he's wrong side now, and that touch isn't good enough, and it helps Anderson to get back. Credit to the fullback, because he didn't give it up. Okay, it was difficult for Uolumo to control, but I think if he takes it away from Anderson, they could have had a third.
O'Connor. And Staniuk, who has time. Uolumo. Brings Gunnarsson in. Burton is just hanging over to the left as Gunnarsson looks for Uolumo again. Lost his foot and lost the ball. Sidwell. Better pace to the game now. Here's Rowlands. Drifted in field to get more of the ball. Saw precious little of it in the first period. This is Burgess. Anderson on the overlap. Can keep it in. Can he find the perfect cross? No is the answer, although it's attacked well by Hunt. Goalkeeper Cutler thought about coming to claim, decided better of it, and nearly caused himself a problem.
Well, it was a lazy attack, and it did look to be hit too far. I think Clark's thinking, well, I've got this comfortable. Well done, Hunt, to actually get something out of it. They'll take this.
Corner won out of nothing. Hunt to put it in. Touch from Dobson. Powell's in there battling. Away by Thomas as far as Evans, who's having a go through the crowd. Got his angles wrong.
He's got to go back wide. I mean, that's very, very ambitious. When it finally broke to him, Hunt was in a good position out wide. And I think that should have been the option he took. I mean, look at the amount of players in front of him. Even if it's on target, it's probably blocked.
First change of the day. It's Chris Uolumo who's going to make way for Andy Cook. It's a like-for-like change at the sharp end for Stoke City. Andy Cook, a boyhood Stoke fan, joined his favourites from Burnley a couple of seasons ago. This is Clark. Oh, stood on the ball. Staniuk helps him out and returns the ball. Powell. And Burgess. Forward by Rowlands. Something for Owusu to chase. Cutler's coming a long way for this one. The touch nearly fell towards Steve Sidwell. And then Cutler recovered to find the hospitality boxes with the punt to stand.
Excellent goalkeeping. When your centre-backs are turned like that, facing their own goal, you want the goalkeeper to be decisive, communicate well, get out of my way, I'm having it. Good keeping.
Into the prawn sandwiches it went. Dobson's throw. Burgess. Didn't know too much about it, but he did get his head to it. It's Powell tangling, and ball appeals, strong ones too. Brian Laws had nothing to do with it. And that's Cook, useful work. Now Gunnarsson, Cook again, he's offside. The run is brought to a premature end.
He shouldn't have been caught. He's obviously concentrating, Andy Cook, on the pass from Gunnarsson. But, you know, I mean, I didn't think so. I don't think he's trying to play the ball. I think, if anything, he's trying to get his arm out of the way.
Just let his hands drop with the ball. Somewhere around the midriff, but when you're 2-0 down in a playoff final, you will shout for anything.
I would have appealed for it if I was playing for the opposition, big time.
Looking for Burgess. Good flick. This is Owusu! And a very good save by Cutler.
Well, at least he's been worked at the moment. I mean, that's the first time they've managed to get a flick on, and it's a good one from Burgess. I thought, great follow-up from Owusu. You know, did all he could, but excellent keeping.
Hunt, deep one. Sidwell's coming in. Owusu's header into the melee and away. Here's Burton. Look at this, Stoke on the counter, breaking at pace. O'Connor, Gunnarsson and Gudjohnsen with him. This is Gudjohnsen. Around the outside of Evans. Now Gunloydson. Dinning. And Thomas. O'Connor was calling for it. It's angled towards Burton. And well plucked out of the air by Smith. This is Dobson. Now Sidwell. Given a little bit of freedom there by Stanyuk, and the ball comes in towards Cutler, who just claims at it one-handed. Look at him, it was Thomas who was there to complete the clearing job. Nice use of the chest by Cook. Stoke try and settle it down with Clive Clark. Offside flags up.
That's twice in relatively quick succession. You've got players looking right across the line. Burton in that case, and they shouldn't be getting caught. You know, he's just strayed. You know, it's a lack of concentration. Just have a little glance across the line. Make sure you hold your ground.
There's Burgess, who's starting to win those headers now. Taking a clatter in that one too. That's Rowlands. Up goes Owusu. Evans was arriving. Took a hefty blow in the process. He's still down. Brentford continue. It's over Stanyuk's head. Handyside was there. Now Anderson. Evans back to his feet and coming out of the 6-yard box. Clark didn't know where it was going to drop. Rowlands. Now Sidwell. Owusu won't get there before Clark, but has won the ball back with sheer persistence. And still Owusu. Evans waiting for it. Evans' header, not his forte.
It might not be his forte, but he should still have dealt with it. And he knows the hands went straight in the face, as if to say, oh, how disappointed am I with that. I mean, Owusu, I think, has done extremely well. Got a little bit of a lucky break, but it's a good ball. And look at the space that Evans has. It's just a very disappointing attempt.
Just admit, I think I, along with Paul Evans, as we take a look back at that wonderful clearing header. Ben Burgess exits stage left, having made a significant impact on the game, not for the right reasons, not anything he could really do about it.
No, he's got himself in an awkward position. He's facing his own goal and he just wasn't expecting it.
Evans. Hunt trying to get in before Thomas. Falls for him too. Still Hunt. No way through to the middle just yet. Thomas is sticking to him. It's still Stephen Hunt, and it's all a bit of an anticlimax in the end.
He made the wrong decision, you know. I like Hunt. I think he's a gutsy character. I mean, he had no right to win the first one with Thomas, but he's a little fella, came out on top. He should have come back and played Anderson in. He'd given him the support.
Stoke City to make another slight alteration. The Belgian Jurgen van Deurzen. He's going to take to the field, and it's going to be Arne Gunloudsen that he replaces. I think again that will be pretty much a straight swap, because Gunloudsen has been occupying the left side of midfield for the last few minutes. That is where Van Deurzen plays. Maybe a little more disciplined in his approach to the game than Gunloudsen.
I think there's that, certainly, because I mean, Stoke have obviously got to concentrate on the clean sheet more than going for a third goal. But also, I think he'll help. He's a good passer of the ball. I think he'll help with regard to that, because Stoke's possession has suffered second half.
Dobson.
Get up and come in!
Steve Coppell in a real hurry to retrieve the ball now. McCammon. Rowlands. And that's Evans, who's just crowded out. He still managed to keep Brentford going though. Nigel Anderson is going to have a go here. Ambitious for somebody who's not scored in, what, over 3 years now.
I always think it's important that somebody is at least making an effort to close him down, and you'll see O'Connor make the burst. Just puts a little bit of pressure on Anderson and forces it.
McCammon. Done well. Watch the bounce carefully. He's got Sidwell in support, and a wonderful challenge from Sergei Stanyuk. Here's O'Connor. Good Johnson. Jones O'Connor slows it down, finds Andy Cook. Larson. Owusu. He was brought down by a Handyside, who I think was apologising but didn't have to. It wasn't considered a foul. Gudjon Torderson, who looks just slightly the more agitated of the two managers. Oh, I don't know. Good work again from Anderson. Hunt. Looked to be running into a cul-de-sac, but he has worked the ball to O'Connor. This now is a chance for Owusu to cross. There are men in the middle. McCammon climbs high, and it's not gone in. Blocked on the line by Cutler somehow. Closest Brentford have come all day.
Well, this is about the best delivery they've produced as well. It's a fantastic ball in by Owusu. Great header by McCammon. I thought it was in. He's done well to get anything on that and be able to get it second time round.
Especially for a goalkeeper who's been largely a spectator all day.
He took the words out of my mouth. He had nothing to do in the first half. He's had an occasional save to make in the second and a bit of involvement. That's a very, very good stop.
Steve Cocker's reaction said it all. Feeling that it's not going to happen for Brentford. There's O'Connor. Still time for those out on the pitch to make something happen. Evans. Just been lifted by that chance as Evans drills in another ambitious effort.
I mean, he's got up so well. Just to get anything on it, I think he's done extremely well. But the goalkeeper scrambled across. Good footwork. Oh. How agonising.
I'm with Steve. I thought it was going in too. There's Dobson. Now it's Sidwell. Nice little pullback for O'Connor. Who can he find with this? Owusu had a touch at it, but nothing really convincing. And Handyside isn't too happy about the bit of play from Steve Hunt there.
Owusu just never sorted his feet out. But this is the best spell Brentford have had in the whole match.
Stoke City are bringing on the experience of Ian Brightwell now. He's going to take the place of Tony Dinning. Brightwell, who played here just last season in Walsall's Division 2 playoff final defeat to Reading. That one went into extra time. This one doesn't look to be going down that route. Just over 4 minutes away from a place in Division 1. Burton, maybe something to crown it. Came off Powell, will be a corner.
I mean, I think the crowd are reacting, the Stoke fans, that anything that's going to keep the ball up at that end for a little longer, that'll do us. But this is where I think Stoke have been superior as well all afternoon. The delivery from set pieces has been much better.
With Johnson to take the corner. Despite being 2 goals to the good, Stanyuk is still coming forward for this. Headed away by Sidwell. There's Brightwell. Acrobatic effort from Andy Cook. Don't flap anything when you're 2-0 up.
Yeah, well, it's a very ambitious attempt. Comes back at him pretty quickly and trying to kind of reshape himself and keep that down on target. Almost impossible.
We're into the final minute. Jim Bowen, a miracle coming from Brentford. Time for you to nominate your nationwide man of the match.
I'm going to go for Peter Handyside. I think he's been absolutely outstanding. Cool, commanding, and he's well marshalled. A superb defence.
Away by Van Derzen. Stoke City's captain has led by example. Organising. Just generally barring the way. Forward by Anderson. Up went McCammon. Cleared by Van Derzen.
I think for Handyside as well, though, you know, I've been watching against his talking, his communication to those around him and organising. He's at it again now, you know, crucial factor.
Up goes Stanyuk, who can't have been far behind him in the vote.
You're right, very close. I said outstanding defence, and Stanyuk's been right there beside him all the way.
This is Darren Powell. Didn't want to hit it first time, and then lofts it rather lazily, but still causes Cutler a problem. We're into stoppage time. There will be at least 3 minutes.
I thought well, Cutler could have maybe kept this in if he reacted a bit better to it, but that'll do.
I'm amazed that everybody hasn't gone forward for Brentford for this one. Still got a head to it though. Now Cutler tries to get through the crowd.
Keeper was fouled.
And he was impeded.
It was a Russo.
The journey back across the M4 into London will not be a particularly happy one for Brentford. What a difference it will be going up to the Potteries. One big party in Staffordshire tonight. Up goes Ingemarson, playing as an extra striker now. All too late for Brentford.
And again, you know, just to pay tribute to Staniuk, you mentioned it before, he won that again. You know, he has been phenomenal as well throughout this match.
That's Evans. There's McCammon, and that will be Cutler's ball. The strains of Delilah being heard from the mouths of Stoke City supporters. That is their anthem. We'll be hearing that out and about in Cardiff this evening, I'm sure. Gudjon Torderson still with some last-minute tinkering. We are in the last minute. 3rd minute of injury time. Rising high, Staniuk once more. This is Burton. O'Connor trying to get onto it. Dobson there first. Punt downfield, it's the only option now for Brentford. McCammon's touch. Darren Powell's there if he can adjust. Again McCammon. Left it for Ingemarson. Brightwell displays typical commitment. And he's looked here for Bjarne Gudjonsson. One last flourish for Stoke City. No, Burton's offside. What a shame.
I mean, Gudjonsson doesn't have to do that. I mean, he could see, I thought, Burton was offside. He could have just run it into the corner, run the clock down.
Lifted towards Hunt. Graham Law's letting play go on for now. We have played the 3 minutes of injury time. Any moment now, Stoke City will be celebrating promotion to Nationwide League Division 1. This is Dobson. Brightwell away. Little glance at the watch from referee Graham Laws. Evans. Now Dobson. One last cross. Flicked in by O'Connor. And Cutler gathers the ball. And that will be just about that. Cutler comes to clear. The full-time whistle rings around the Millennium Stadium. It's Gudjon Torderson, Stoke City, who are going up to Nationwide League Division 1. Dion Burton with the first goal of the day. A deflection off Ben Burgess put them 2 up on the stroke of half-time. From 2 up to going up. Stoke City have completed the job. Always rough luck on the losers, especially when, like Brentford, they've looked to be going up much of the way through the season, finishing in 3rd. But everybody knows what happens come playoff time. It's not about points, it's not about where you finished, it's how you perform on the day. And Brentford haven't performed.
And in that regard, I feel sorry for them. It was terribly disappointing from their viewpoint. And I think they'll admit to it that Stoke were the better side, that they failed to get going. And I thought Stoke's success was built on a really rock-solid defence. What a great foundation for their performance. They settled easier, they were much cooler throughout. And 2 well-worked set pieces, and that was that.
Gudjon Torderson samples the other side of life. Victory in a playoff final. Victory coming from the south dressing room at the Millennium Stadium. That's the last word we'll hear about that. The curse finally put to bed. A very proud manager. Half of Reykjavik will be celebrating this one as keenly as anybody in Stoke. It's not really about medals and trophies, it's about going up to Nationwide League Division 1, but I'm sure these still will take pride of place. Ian Brightwell's had a long career, but hasn't won too many pots throughout his time. There's James O'Connor and the substitute Jurgen van Deurzen, the former Belgian under-21 international. All have contributed to the Stoke cause. Gudjon Torderson has had to use every member of his squad this season at some time or another. The Icelandic connection with Arne Gunnlaugsson, together with a Jamaican, Dion Burton. It's a League of Nations down at the Britannia Stadium. Goalkeeper Neil Cutler, who was called upon towards the end, despite a pretty quiet afternoon in general. Chris Ualumo, whose afternoon was cut short by a slight injury. They'll have forgotten about that by the end of this evening. And Wayne Thomas, a playoff loser earlier in his career with Torquay United. Arne Gunnlaugsson started the campaign with Leicester. They haven't had a good time of it. Gunnlaugsson has ended the season as a winner. Suleiman Alari, who's only been at the club since Christmas and only played 2 games as a substitute due to illness. And every member of the squad gets a medal. I'm sure the players up there on the podium already can't wait to get their hands on the trophy. Can't wait to get the summer party started and then get on with the hard work of preparing for Division 1. Peter Handyside, the last to get his medal before moving towards the trophy. After a 4-year absence, Stoke City are back in Nationwide League Division 1. Stoke City are going up. Another page written in the famous history of a club that has boasted names such as Gordon Banks and Sir Stanley Matthews in its past. It is a big club. They're just one level away from the top tier of English football now, and they're going to enjoy this moment. This is what playing's about.